You could definitely feel that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's strong.
Wow. We have Danielle, the Reiki healing practitioner.
I see the human body as whole. Holistic healing focuses on healing everything. If everybody naturally and holistically healed ourselves, it would have a huge impact on the pharmaceutical companies.
What kind of meditation did you go through?
Every single day, I would listen to guided meditations. It started off 10 minutes. Now, I can meditate right here, right now.
Can we do that?
Yeah, that's what I do. And out.
Hey guys, we realize a lot of you are coming to the page and enjoying the content, but we see a lot of you still aren't subscribed. And so if you could click that subscribe button, it'll help our channel grow and give you more episodes with a lot of amazing individuals. Welcome back to another episode of Attractive Mindset. And listen, today's guest, before we even started, we've had at least like 3 or 4 hours of conversation. And so we're going to actually get into the deeper part of the conversation where we learn a little bit more about our guest. And today we have Danielle, the Reiki healing practitioner.
Yeah.
And so Danielle, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So explain to people really quick what a healing practitioner is, but then also with Reiki.
So a healing practitioner helps people to heal different parts of themselves that could be related to trauma, that could be related to emotional distress that's going on in their body, anything that is related to emotional, mental, spiritual, even physical well-being in your body, anything that's going on in your body. I focus on holistic healing. And the reason why I focus on holistic healing is because when you see a general practitioner, they don't talk about, nothing against doctors, just want to say that, but they don't talk about the whole problem. I see the human body as whole. That's what holistic means. It's seeing that everything is connected. Everything is one. So if you're having chronic issues in your gut, it could be related to your mental state of being. And I also talk to people about healing in the sense that if you're focused on one problem, let's just say you're having mental health issues, you clear your mental health issues, but you still have issues going on emotionally. Now you've dealt with that one problem, but you still have other problems. So holistic healing focuses on healing everything.
I like that. And so with it being holistic, you know, I know of this a little bit, but, you know, explain it to people why holistic isn't as approached as standard medicine.
The truth on why I think that is because I believe that they want to keep you stuck in systems, to be honest. And I feel that if everybody naturally and holistically healed ourselves, just like our ancestors did, right? That's what they used to use for medicine, alternative medicine. They weren't getting prescribed medications from doctors. I believe that it would have a huge impact on the pharmaceutical companies as well, you know, billion-dollar industries. So to me, it's about the systems. And this is why people are stuck in the healthcare systems and the way they are. And ultimately, people really, I don't want to say they're not finding solutions because I'm not a doctor. But I will say that a lot of people are stuck in certain loops due to something that could be trauma related that they need to heal. And then they can move forward in the way that their lives become free within themselves. People always are looking for their answers outside of themselves, trying to see, oh, if I take this pill, that will help me. Oh, if I do this, that will help. Oh, if I do that, that will help. But the truth is, the answer is within you. And this is why holistic healing is so powerful in itself, is because it's about what's going on within your body. Anything that anybody, in my beliefs, that you're searching for outside of you, you will never find. Whether that be anything, honestly, not just related to your health. But I believe anything that you're looking for, any external validation is not possible without searching within yourself first. You can find that in your own inner being.
I definitely believe that too. And so before we go more into like the Reiki and the healing, I want to learn a little bit more about you too. So where are you from originally?
I'm from New York. If you're interested in booking a Reiki healing session, you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Danielle_Newman4. Come join a community where we talk about awareness, spirituality, healing, to become a better version of yourself, to learn about yourself, to grow and heal.
Okay, New York in the
Yep.
building. Woo, woo.
New York.
And so growing up in New York, do you feel like, well, I understand what growing up in New York is like. Do you feel like if you were born anywhere else in the United States, you'd still be the same version of you?
No, I do not. I don't believe that. I believe that your environment plays a role in how you make decisions in life, and also what your belief systems are. And I believe that what your environment and the things that you're taught around you has an impact on how you perceive the world and how you perceive yourself, on your self-image, and all of those things. So no, I do not believe that, because I do feel that there is, I don't want to call it the New York hustle, but it kind of is the New York hustle.
It's the New York
It's
hustle.
instilled in you, basically, I feel.
100%. So growing up, were you surrounded by family members or anybody that really guided you into this kind of lifestyle or kind of thinking?
No, actually, they were not. It was all self-explored through my own traumas that I've been through in my life, and through the medical system failing me, basically, to an extent. I had an autoimmune disease. And so I was consistently seeing a doctor to help me with my autoimmune disease. And I was just in the same loop for almost a decade of my life with this autoimmune disease. And what made me really start to question the medical system, because I had that autoimmune disease when I was 14 years old. I can get into that, exactly what it was, if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I was 14 years old, I used to play sports. I was playing basketball, and I had my hair up in a ponytail, and my friend had said to me, Danielle, you have a bald spot on the side of your head. And so I ran right to the bathroom. I saw the spot, and it was like a quarter-size spot. It was a bald spot. So I, of course, went and told my mom I had a bald spot. Long story short, in 2 weeks, my hair completely fell out. I was bald at 14 years old.
Oh.
Lost all of my hair. And so I had this autoimmune disease called alopecia areata. Lost all of my hair at 14. And so for almost a decade, I would say, I was seeing a dermatologist. I would go to the dermatologist every week. They were putting injections of a steroid called Kenalog in my scalp. And it wasn't helping. It was only making it worse, it felt like. And also, I was skeptical at that age about them injecting a huge needle in my head, like close to my brain like that at such a young age. And they prescribed me medications. They prescribed me Xanax, and they just prescribed me all these different pills because I was in so much pain. I had a complete bald scalp, and they were injecting these needles, and I was young at that time. And so they were giving me these medications, Xanax and all these different pills, to help with the pain and my anxiety into going into that. And of course, as you could imagine, being 14 years old and being bald, wearing wigs, I had very low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Very low confidence. I was just starting my freshman year. And I actually had a guy who said that he didn't want to date me because of that reason.
Wow.
So that played a role in my self-esteem, my confidence, how I felt about myself, even looking at myself in the mirror. So, not naturally, but I guess for me, naturally at that time, I used partying as an outlet. That's it. I was always in the city, partying, trying to escape my problems. And so for about a decade, I was getting these shots in my head. This is what made me say, what's happening here? I don't feel like anybody's really trying to help me. Nobody in my family was knowledgeable enough to say this, what's happening. Nobody's talking about other issues, what's going on at home, how's your mental health, are you okay? None of that was talked about. Anytime I went to the doctor, it was get these steroids, take these pills, that's going to help you, you'll be fine. Nothing was ever talked about aside from that. I remember when I was about 18 years old, I went to the doctor, and I didn't have the copay. I couldn't pay my copay. And I had already been going to that doctor since I was 14.
Yeah.
I couldn't pay the copay. They wouldn't see me. So I never went back after that day because that's what turned me off to the medical system and to say, wait, whoa. They're telling me this is the solution to my disease, which now I know disease means that the body is in dis-ease. There's other things going on in your body pertaining to disease. So them rejecting me actually was a blessing in disguise because it allowed me to now dive deep into what was actually going on with me. What was I actually doing? At that point, I was partying every single weekend, distractions at Pasha in the city, going out every weekend and just distracting myself. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to lie. I'm a very real person. I had a great time.
Yeah.
It was a great time in my life partying. I had fun. And I experienced a lot, and I got to experience a lot at a young age, which also plays a role in who I am today. As you said, being from New York and having those experiences shapes your future. So after 19 years old, having that experience with the medical system, I decided to dive deeper into it, and I started to heal myself at 19 years old. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I'll never forget, I called my godfather that day. My godfather passed away, but I called him and I said, Floyd, I have a problem. I'm drinking, I'm taking pills and doing all these things. They have me prescribed to these medications. My godfather was somebody I really trusted that I could share this with. I told him and he said to me, well, this is what you're going to do. You're going to tell your family what you're doing. Because as you would imagine, I was actually taking Xanax from 14 years old up until I was 19. So because they were prescribed to me. So I thought that was, that was what I needed to do. So when I told my godfather, Floyd, he told me to go tell my family that I had a problem. So I did. I went in front of my whole family. Listen, this is what it is. I need help, basically. I ended up going away for 3 years. I went to a treatment center for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So someone who would be 21 years old, celebrating like their first drink, I was away getting my life together. And that treatment center actually, it saved my life because it took me out of my environment. As we talk about environment, it took me out of the environment.
And so in this treatment center, what actually happens?
Major deep healing. I was taken out of my environment and I was put in a place where I had to just be with me. And I had to figure things out on my own. My journey started a little bit before that because what happened with the doctor made me take a step back and made me start doing the research on my own. So I stopped going to the doctors before I went to the treatment center. Stepping into that treatment center completely changed my life. It was in 2011. And that's when my deep healing journey started there. Again, it was just me and 80 other people. I lived in a upstate New York housing with 80 other people from the kids from the ages 16 to 25. And so it was like a dorm, but it was actually a treatment center. And so it was a very strict place. It was very strict. Wake up at 5 a.m., clean your room with a sock.
What?
Yes. Wake up and the counselors would come in, check to see if there was dust. If there was dust, you had to go back in and redo it.
So wait, if it's a treatment center, why are they being so military kind of vibed?
Because most people who were coming from where we came from a lifestyle where you didn't care. You didn't care about yourself. You didn't care about your responsibilities. You didn't care about your life. You were just so focused on you had no responsibilities. So the reason why they were so strict was because they were taking us, they knew that most of these kids were addicts. Really, they were drug addicts. We all were, basically, for the most part. So they were taking us out of our environment. I didn't know then why they were doing it. And I hated it, of course. I mean, I was young. I was actually only 19 years old. So having that experience was like, they were strict. You weren't allowed to sleep in your bed for longer than 2 minutes. Once you got up, you had to get up. As soon as you got up, you had to start cleaning right away with the sock. And if someone in your dorm room saw you sitting on the bed for longer than 2 minutes, they would write you up. You would get written up, and then you would have to go and sit with a counselor, and they would take things away that you were allowed. So they could take away your visits with your family. They could take away your whatever. We weren't allowed to speak to people that we knew. Only people you're allowed to speak to was your family. No friends, no nothing.
Wow. So you had complete disconnect from the outside world. That's I didn't even know it was like that. And what's the time frame on them saying, okay, you're good now?
So it's 1 year. You live upstate New York. Well, this place was upstate, but a lot of treatment centers that you dedicate to anyway. So you live upstate for 1 year. Then after the year, we came home. We call it coming home, but really you're in a 5-day-a-week outpatient program. So you go home, but you're not allowed to work. For the first 6 months, you're living at home, but you have to go there every day from 9 to 5, like a job. You show up 5 days a week. You're allowed to leave, though. People are allowed to leave. I mean, you have to commit to this. You can't just, you could sign yourself out, and you're an adult because you're over 18. Most people, even 16-year-olds, you're allowed. They can't sign themselves out, but they're allowed to leave. They don't have to stay. So it is something you have to commit to. So then you're in Brooklyn. It was in Brooklyn, in Coney Island, Brooklyn.
Okay.
And you stay in this intensive outpatient. That's what it's called. Intensive outpatient for 5 days a week, 9 to 5 for 6 months. After the 6 months, you're able to move to the next level, which is you get a part-time job. You go to work 3 days a week. You go there 2 days a week. And every single weekend, you're not allowed to go, we call it trips. You're not allowed to go and hang out with people. You have to write down what you're doing every day. Let the counselors know what you're doing. You're not allowed. Still not allowed to talk to people that you knew either throughout the process yet. So that's 2 years, 6 months, part-time. Then your last year there, you start working full-time, and you only have to show up every Wednesday. You show up every Wednesday, and you show up just like for the groups. We had group sessions. And what's interesting with the program is that you're with the same people that you started with who stayed. Some people leave.
And so those become your developed friendships.
Yeah, they're your peers who you've grown with from the beginning, who you've technically stayed sober with from the beginning. So you all usually came to the program around the same time, since it's 3 years. So now you leave the program with those same people who you started with, if they end up completing.
So when you have these friends, these peers that you're really growing with at this point into like an adult, have you had any that reverted back to an old version of themselves, or, like people that tried to get you to do the same thing or anything?
Yeah, I have a lot of peers that I know who went back to that lifestyle. A lot. And you meet so many people through it, because it's 80 people living upstate, but that's not all those 80 stay. So you have people who are leaving, throughout the process. So it's actually hundreds of people that you meet, mainly kids. I'm saying people because it does go into their 20s too. It's up to 25, but yeah, you meet a lot of different people. A lot of people also honestly passed away. A lot. Hundreds.
Passed away how?
Overdose.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so they were still doing it while they were in the program?
No, you can't. No, I mean after. Or they left.
Got it.
They didn't complete it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm the kind of person, and I realized this in that program, I commit. I committed, and I committed. That was it. After I bought in and I said, I commit to this for my life, that was it. I committed to it, and I knew I was going to complete it. And then after that, I continued the work. I didn't stop after that.
So what kind of support system did you have from an outside perspective? Like, you tell your parents, like, hey, your family, this is what I'm dealing with. How did they take that?
They supported me right away. They were very supportive. I mean, not like they were happy that I told them, and they were happy that I chose that route, of course. I mean, and so they were supportive through my whole process. They were there. The family is very involved when you're in that process, especially if you're young. and your parents have to show up, come to some of the meetings. You have parent meetings. And I actually healed a lot of trauma I had with my father in that program, because I was able to sit with him and tell him the truth about how I felt about things. He wasn't really in my life a lot. So I was able to really tell him how I really felt with the counselor there. And not a lot of people get that opportunity.
Yeah.
That was so healing for me. Before that experience, I wasn't able to talk about my dad without really crying, because I was holding on to so much trauma, so much pain that I went through with him. And I never got to ask him certain questions that I wanted to growing up. Why weren't you there, or certain things. And that was all resolved in that session that I was able to, ask him.
No, absolutely. Okay. And so now, with it being kind of like a military kind of vibe, you doing the first year upstate, then you coming back to do more of a commitment type program, are they giving you ways to assimilate back into society?
So, yes, of course, because we're still having meetings and things like that. So I believe that at that time, we were still learning to grow. That's why it's not like those 28 days where you go for 28 days and then you just go back and you have to figure it out. That's why the program was 3 years, because they progressively are teaching you, and as with their support, with their guidance through it. So you only go 3 days a week. Then first you're there 5 days a week. So it's really intensive because you're not ready yet. You just were isolated upstate, not talking to people you knew and things like that. So yeah, they gradually put you back, in, give you skills. And throughout the process, of course, they teach you life skills, major life skills, major responsibility, major philosophies to live by as well. There was a philosophy. I don't remember it word by word, but we used to say it every morning, and it was about, honoring yourself, honoring your word, having respect for yourself. And it was like I gained responsibility, and, it was all that. So we were affirming that every day to ourselves. Of course, because these were kids who mostly everybody has trauma. And I found that out later on in life. Like, wow, addiction is actually just a matter of people not knowing how to process their emotions.
I've never heard it from that kind of perspective. Addiction is just a matter of people not knowing how to process their emotions.
Listen to this. Drugs and alcohol are not the problem. Drugs and alcohol are the solution to the emotional distress that people go through. It becomes a problem because they use it as their solution, because they don't know how to process their emotions. That's it.
And so with that kind of definition, do you think that there is like a such thing as like social drinking or social drugs?
So I believe it's an escape. I believe it's a distraction. Do I believe that I'm like 100%? Do I believe marijuana can help people? Yes, I do. Because I believe in herbs and I believe in CBD, and I know it actually helps with chronic pain, and I do believe in that. It's about intention. There you go. With drinking, I don't judge people. But the truth is, no, I believe it's a distraction.
Got it.
Because I could take this into a whole spiritual thing, to be honest.
Take it.
When it comes to alcohol.
Take it.
Alcohol that's why a lot of alcohol, wine and spirits, everything's related to spirits. I believe people, when they're drinking, and this is why, sometimes people drink and they feel so outside of themselves, they become somebody else. Well, it's a spirit, right? That's like almost taking over. That's why they can't remember. They don't feel like themselves. They say things and do things that they wouldn't normally say if it was them. So being somebody who healed myself, and I'm so inside my body, I don't drink at all, not because of what I've been through. I believe that what I've been through shaped who I am, yes. But if I didn't go through that with the drink, I never had a problem drinking, honestly. It was more just the prescriptions that I was prescribed to. But if I just became a holistic practitioner and just knew about spirituality, learned about it, practiced it myself, I believe I would have the same beliefs about alcohol. I don't drink because I just don't want to tap into that frequency, to be honest. And I just believe it's a lower frequency. It keeps people stuck in cycles. And the whole mindset of like, I'm going to go drink on the weekend to escape your reality from the week, and then go drink on the weekend to escape what's going on during your week. Because most people, not everybody, but most people are so stressed. They think that they're going out on the weekend to celebrate. And the reality is that every day, like people, the mindset of Monday, Monday sucks. So I'm going to go drink on the weekend because Monday sucks. But what if you had that mindset that you have on the weekend every day? Yeah. But without, the alcohol. But I'm saying it's escapism to me. It's a distraction.
So when you put it like that, could it technically be said that vacation is an escape?
Yes.
People, the people that love to travel a lot are actually trying to escape their reality more than others. Not for the benefit of, hey, this is a pretty place, I want to take this vacation, but I don't like where I am.
I just want to escape what's going on in my life, because when I go on vacation, I feel free. Don't get me wrong, though. I do like to always talk about how I say this all the time. Everything is just with balance, right? So, yes, there are people who love their lives. They literally live in gratitude and joy, and they're present every day, and they like to travel, right? That's balance. But when the intention and the mindset is, I'm going on vacation because I want to feel free, your daily life should feel free. If you feel trapped in your daily life, it's a problem within your daily life. It's not a problem within that you need a vacation. People feel at peace because they don't feel at peace on a daily basis.
100%. And so to just go back a little bit towards, you going through the 3 years. Now, during that process, how is your hair doing? At what point do you start to really grow your hair back?
So I grew my hair back. I'm 33 now. I grew my hair back when I was 25. I completely grew it back. My hair was very long a couple of months ago. And I cut my hair. Now my hair short. So I was like, but I cut my hair because I just moved to Florida, and that was always a thing for me. Plus, hair holds on to energy, a lot of energy. And moving to Florida for me was like a whole new everything. And I have no attachment to hair because I never had any anyway. Yeah. Right? So that was part of why I cut my hair. I saw that it was just like, my hair was a little thin in the front right before this because I was very stressed about moving here. Just making that move was stressful. So it was a little thin, but my hair was very long in September. And I cut it just for new beginnings, everything new. I'm not afraid. I don't really have fear in things. I know my hair will go back. It's just hair. I like experimenting with new things, so. But when I was 25 years old, I completely grew my hair back holistically through food. Okay. Through mental health. Okay. Through healing myself. 25, it was around 24, really. Yeah, wait.
And so I would like for you to break down the whole process. So when you say food, what kind of food were you getting into? What kind of healing were you getting into? What were you practicing? Because that's a whole different conversation from, hey, I went to get, Xanax and do all of this stuff from the hospitals and nothing happened, versus I changed my life. I changed my diet. I changed what I ingested, mentally, physically, all of it. And I have full hair now.
Yeah. So I just want to go back a little bit and say that I started my healing journey, though, then when I was 19, like I said. But after I left that program when I was 21, I continued on a healing journey. So the healing journey still was going on. 21, 22, 23, 24, meaning I was in support systems. I was sponsoring other women, helping them, because at that point it was 3 years. Then it was 4 years. Then it was, being in communities, sharing my story with other people, with other women. So that's important to know, because I never stopped the journey. I always was healing. While helping other people, I was healing myself. And something I was big on was giving back. It was a huge thing. Giving back what I was taught, what I was learned, what I was taught from other people. And so I continued my healing journey mentally and spiritually, because it was also spiritual as well. So when it wasn't 25, it was younger than that. I was about 24 when I healed my hair. And so what that looked like was no one really helped me, honestly. I did all of it on my own. Once I committed to that and I started to feel better mentally, physically, of course, I felt so good about myself at that point. And I was just only 2 years out of the program about when my hair started growing back, really. But it fully grew back when I was 24.
Wow.
So it really started with my mental state of being. Once I was completely sober and like in my own mind, healing my own mind, that's when it really started to grow back. When I was 25, it was full. It was so long. I have a picture, you could.
And what'd your parents say about this?
They were surprised, honestly. No one really, well, my mom saw what I was doing, which I will explain now what I was doing every day. I started meditating. I started going in my body more. We'll start with the mental. I started observing my thoughts, but through meditation, and that became a practice. I committed to that, and I committed to helping people. That was a huge thing, of course, in my mental health, and my spiritual self was really helping other women, helping other people.
And so, really quick, because there's a broad definition to meditate. Often when you say meditate, some people meditate in many different ways. True. And so what kind of meditation did you go through, or did you really get into that consistency of?
I started listening to guided meditations. And I just went all in on listening to guided meditations as well as guided affirmations. But every single day I would listen to guided meditations, because what I was learning when I started doing that was that I was starting to begin to observe my thoughts, which was I didn't know at the time that it was so important. And so listening to these guided meditations was giving me time to truly connect with myself. And I was hearing what they were saying, and I'm not going to lie, in the beginning it was tough to be in a guided state of being like that, and just be with myself after, kind of years of being in distraction.
How long a day?
It started off 10 minutes, okay. 10 minutes a day. And then I started advancing to 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Now I can meditate right here, right now on my own, and just, I'm not here. And I could sit here for a long time.
You can just completely flip the switch.
I can just sit here, close my eyes, and I'm meditating. I can bring myself through a guided meditation, because now now I bring people through guided meditations. I could just verbally do it, but I can actually just even meditate right now.
And so if we were to do a guided meditation, what would that look like? Can we do that?
Yeah, we could do a guided, but I need some like relaxing music with it. But yeah, okay. I could definitely, that's what I do.
Can you play some?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a guided I've never been into a guided meditation at all.
Really?
At all. Ever.
Sure.
We're going to be guided, Dan. I'm excited. I like doing new things.
Let's do it. I'll make it short, because the thing is, it can be like long.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I could go into it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, just something quick. I want to,
All right. Let's do it.
You could be in it too, Dan.
So if you're still watching, join us for this quick meditation to help you feel relaxed, calm, and welcome in a white light energy. All right. So, first, what you're going to do is just put your hands, you could leave them right there. Close your eyes. And what you're first going to do is take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Take another deep breath in and out. Slowly start to become aware of the top of your head. And now just let your scalp relax. Feel the muscles around your scalp, around your face, relaxing. Letting go of any muscles that you're holding on to and just allowing your body to relax. Now start to bring your awareness down into your shoulders. Let your shoulders down. Letting go of the muscles you're tightening in your shoulders. Start to feel that same sensation loosening down your arms. Start to feel yourself dropping the body down, letting go of all muscles and tension that you are holding on to. And now I want you to bring your awareness to the top of your head. And as your awareness is at the top of your head, you're going to see and feel a bright white light energy. You see this white light energy above your head. It's very bright. And now picture this energy washing down your body from the top of your head. It's flowing through your face, down into your neck, to your shoulders, down your chest, and it's just washing all around you. It's this amazing white light energy. You feel it clearing you. You feel so relaxed and calm. This white light is naturally healing your body, naturally bringing peace in your mind, letting go of any thoughts or anything that are from this day. Your only focus is on this white light. If you're having any thoughts that are outside of here, just know that that's normal. It's okay to have outside thoughts. Just bring yourself back in to the sound of my voice. And now you feel the sensation of this white light wrapping around your whole body, washing over your shoulders, washing over your legs, washing over your feet. And now your body is so relaxed. Start to picture this white light energy from your legs going into your feet, from your feet going all the way into the ground. This white light energy is grounding you into the earth, allowing you to feel connected and rooted into the earth, and fully grounded in the here and now. And what you're going to do right now is you're going to think of something that you're grateful for. Maybe something from this day. Just anything you're grateful for. Think of that one thing. And now say thank you for that. Now you're still just feeling this white light energy, feeling so super relaxed. Body feeling completely cleansed, feeling so good. Slowly start to bring yourself back into the present moment. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can move your shoulders a little bit and just feel the surface that you're sitting on. Before you bring your body back fully into the present moment, just say thank you to that white light for cleansing your energy. When you're ready, you can open your eyes slowly. Definitely don't get up right away.
That was good. That was good. I felt like you did it, Dan? I felt like warm. It felt warm, and when I started to relax my body, it kind of reminded me of the process of me slipping into like astral projection a little bit, because the first steps you go through is literally just body relaxation, and bringing it back with like my fingers, it was like it literally woke my body back up.
Did you feel relaxed?
I did.
Were you able to feel the white light as well?
Yes. So the white light for me was like super bright, and
I knew it would be for you.
I felt like I had to like squint my eyes a little bit when I like put it above my head, and I was like, is it these lights that are doing it, or is it the light that's above me?
Oh, I didn't even think about those.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, cool. I'm envisioning it, really bright. It was like super bright. Even before you said like it's a bright white light, I was like, what is that? I felt it. Okay, and so that's like a general guided meditation. And so when you do it for longer, what typically do you go through? Like what else happens?
So it depends on the experience. I've brought people through experiences of inner child healing, which is very deep. I've brought people on meditation experiences of, it depends on the person. As I'm saying, like if somebody's very stressed, I'll bring them through just a relaxing type of energy. If somebody's holding on to emotional distress or things in their body, we'll go through that process. I used to work in a senior citizen housing. So they used to love the inner child stuff because it was bringing them back to those happy, joyous moments. And they were, not that they were miserable in these senior citizen housings, but, it was boring for the most part. And they were older women, 70, 80, whatever. So bringing them through the inner child things was really cool because they would remember themselves when they were younger. And that was like such a cool feeling because I believe that you're always your inner child. You grow as just an adult, but that inner child is always within you. Inner child healing is something really important that I like to focus on with people too. Because if you think about certain things as an adult, you lose the same light you had as a child. Children are so pure.
Yeah.
They're so present in the moment. They don't care about what you know, what's going to happen tomorrow. Right now matters, which is such a key thing. And you lose that as an adult. That's why inner child healing is so important. People think sometimes inner child healing has to be so deep. For some people it is because they experience trauma.
Yeah.
But for some people, it's just good to help you be more playful. You know, people who have social anxiety or things like that. Well, when you were a little kid, you would have danced right in front of me for no reason. Like you would have did whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So it's different experiences for different people.
Got it. So, you know what it also reminds me of, and you might, you know, be familiar with this too, Dan, is like we have a friend named Mason, and he's a mentalist. And so and this one is, it's crazy how we determine what's crazy to us, what's not crazy to us, because this felt natural to me, but he would hypnotize people. And we didn't believe him at first, like until we went to this one convention center, and we just literally walked around, and we were like his camera people, and he just chose a random group of people, and he was like, hey, they have to be open to it, and they have to, you know, want to accept it or whatnot. But we would watch him like put people to sleep, wake them up as different people, like have them forget their name, go through different motions, do all of that. And then at the end, he would bring it back, but he would bring it back and put affirmations on top of it. Like, oh, you're going to feel really good. Like, I want really good emotions to rush into your body, filled with light, this and that, and then come back, and like he'd snap and they would be back like nothing happened. And it would just be like, what? And so is that the same similar kind of thing?
It can be. Yeah, it can be similar. Because something that's important to know is that me, especially, this is something that I practice and I go by, especially doing energy healing with people. I'm not healing you. You're healing yourself. That's a problem too with healers. Oh, I'm a healer, I'm healing you. No, I'm the channel. You're the healer. That's so key too. That's so important. You can self-heal yourself. I'm not healing you. Even when you have a mentor or a coach, anything that I believe people do, especially when it comes to healing, is I'm telling you, this is what it is. You choose to do it. You're healing, not me. I'm not forcing you. You're doing it. And that's something so important to know, because especially in these healing communities, people think like, oh, I'm this magical healer, I could do this. No, I'm the channel. Your body is self-healing itself.
The channel's super important. You know, when you say it like that, that makes me think of personal training. Like, you're literally doing everything that you can do yourself. You're just having somebody walk you through it.
Exactly. And of course, having that, I believe everyone needs a mentor. I believe everyone needs a coach, and I believe everyone needs like healing. But that, because healing, you don't have to have trauma. It's just being a human, having experiences. You need healing, because different versions of people at different times in their life. Healing could be because somebody went to school and they were made fun of over something, and now they hold on to that still, and now they have this belief in the self-image about themselves because of what that other person said, based off of the projection of that person's consciousness on where they were at that time. So people take things personally, and they're not fully understanding, or they're not fully aware that people project their reality based off of their consciousness or where they are. But once you truly heal and you understand that, you can't just know it. You can have a knowing of anything. Knowledge is great to know. If you're not applying it, knowledge is nothing.
Yeah.
You can have all the knowledge in the world. I could read 1,000 books on the audio of a podcast. That's great. But if I'm not actually doing it, I don't know what I'm doing. You know?
100%. And, you know, something that I would teach a lot of my mentees are the 4 systems of mindset. And so a lot of them would come to me and they would be like, man, I'm not making any money. I'm not doing any of this. I'm not getting anything. You know, my business is failing. I want to whatever. And the whole like first part, the more popular program would be the 6-month program. But the whole first like 2 months, 3 months even, we don't even touch finances or anything like that. We go into the physical mindset, the mental mindset, the emotional mindset. And once those are in a decent state, then we can talk about the financial mindset, because everything acts as one to really get to the next level. And a lot of people don't make money based off of the extremes in those other mindsets and those other categories. And so, that's interesting. So now I want to gravitate towards, after you've grown your hair back, you see that, I'm sure once this starts happening, you get even deeper into, healing and understanding. And so now, where does your life go? Do you go to college? Do you start to learn a skill? How do you develop from there?
So I was already I didn't mention that. I was in college during that time.
Got it.
I have an associate's degree in psychology.
Okay.
But actually for those years from when I was 22 until 2021, I worked in a school. So I stayed being in the school, and then I became an entrepreneur doing digital marketing, working with business owners. That's when I first started being an entrepreneur, was in 2015. That happened? I was it was with an ex of mine.
Got it.
He owned a bar, and they needed someone to do their graphic design. And I was really into computers and tech stuff at that time. I took computer classes. I did a lot of tech stuff. I used to love to create online. Everybody always came to me for their problems with their computers. Can you fix this? Can you do that? Can you create this? I was really good at it. So I started to create things for his bar. And then I was like, wow, this is really cool. I want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to work at the school anymore. So I literally took, like I said, I commit. That's just it.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, wow, I'm going to do this because I'm doing such a great job for them. I'm going to go offer it to other business owners. So that's what I did. I started going into different businesses, showing them what I was doing, asking them if they wanted me to do it for them. And they said yes, because at the time it was a necessity. They needed it. It was like when digital marketing first started. It was like when Instagram was only pictures.
Yeah.
So it was, it was like starting to grow. There was no videos and nothing on Instagram yet. It was just straight graphic design. So I stayed doing that. And then I was also healing myself through that process. And I actually ended up being in a toxic relationship during that time with the guy who owned the bar. And that really brought me again down in a bad place. I was depressed all over again because I was allowing things, and I didn't have that full self-love yet. I wasn't at that point yet. I was, I had completely grown my hair back, but so I handled that problem through food and the things I was eating. Like I had mentioned, smoothies, greens, a lot of kale and all those things. I was actually eating like peppers for breakfast, like red, green,
like just
bell peppers. Raw.
Wow.
And I was committed to growing my hair. So I did everything possible. And the reason why I was doing that, eating those kinds of foods, because there's folic acid in those foods. Folic acid is what helps to grow your hair. So I was doing that. I was using a lot of like black Jamaican castor oil for my hair, which was really growing my hair back. So it was all, again, just alternative things I was doing. Smoothies and working out, going to the gym.
So as you're doing this, like transitioning what you're eating, are you also transitioning what you're not eating, what you're cutting out? Did you have to cut out certain things?
Yeah, of course. I started to become more aware throughout this process of chemicals in food, and I started to become aware of the things I was eating because, of course, I'm sitting there doing research, and then I had also learned more about autoimmune diseases. I started buying books that were talking about how to heal your autoimmune disease. I'm like, wow, this is possible. So now I started reading books on it, started doing extensive research, and just taking the matter into my own hands, just healing myself. A lot of fish oil, a lot of folic acid. Also, this sounds weird, but I used to hang upside down. And the reason why is because the blood flow rushing to your head will help your follicles grow as well. A lot of scalp massaging, different things like that. So I started to understand those dynamics. And I think that's where the holistic started coming in my life, like started to be present in my life, is when I started seeing that, okay, my mental health is better, my hair's growing back, what I'm eating is also connected to it, because I was drinking Red Bulls every day and whatever I was doing. So that's not helping. I was eating fast food and trash, literal trash. And then I started seeing, wow, I'm doing these things. That's helping. My hair's growing back. I'm starting to feel good again. And so that's when I started committing to that holistic lifestyle of becoming way more aware, and I wanted to learn more about it. And still at this point, no coach, no nothing, just all on my own, reading books, learning. And YouTube was like a little bit, getting a little big, so kind of watching a little bit of things people were sharing there. So that's where that journey started. Then I ended up, like I said, no, I didn't end up. I chose it. I'm not going to say I take full accountability and responsibility for my actions.
Mature.
Yeah, I didn't end up anywhere. I chose to be in a relationship that was not good.
Now, how long were you in that relationship?
Not long, only 2 years.
Okay.
And it was a huge downfall for me. I lost my hair again. Yeah.
Stressed you out.
Yeah. I was very depressed. I was really depressed. And at this point, I still was finding myself, though. So my hair completely grew back, like I said, around 23, 24. I was in this relationship till I was about 26. Okay. So in between there, it grew back fully, and then it fell out again because I chose this relationship. And that, but again, another deep healing journey after that. So, but during that relationship, I was not fully healed in the aspect of myself, how I truly felt about myself. I didn't know that at that time, though. I learned that from the relationship. I have no resentment, because honestly, if I would have went through that, I would have never learned my self-worth. I learned my self-worth from going through that experience. I learned that I had low self-value still from allowing certain things that went on in that relationship. If I didn't go through that, I would have never learned that. I thought I was good. Oh, holistically healing myself, so that was, but now that, getting into the holistic thing, I wasn't thinking about it at that time as holistically. I was just saying, oh, this works. Me eating this way works. I'm more connected with my spiritual self. My mental state of being is good, but guess what wasn't good? My emotional state of being was not good. I still had these belief systems about myself that were from when I was a child, and that was about my self-worth and different types of things in relationships. So I still had those things. And so that relationship ended because I just literally got an apartment and said, I'm done, I'm leaving, bye. And I left. So after I had left that apartment, that's when I went on. After that, 26, that was like the real holistic, deep, heal myself in every single aspect of my life, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, never look back again. So, just completely, that was the real holistic, deep healing, where I healed myself emotionally. I gained my self-worth back, my self-love. All of those things were truly connected because I already had the three. I already had the physical. I already had the mental. My mental was, well, not fully, but my mental was way better. Spiritually, I was feeling good at that time, but I was lacking the emotional. I never healed truly emotionally.
Got it. Okay. And so now going into the super lock-in journey after 26, what got you to the point of, I understand it for myself, now I'm going to understand it for other people?
So after I that was a 360 change for me. Seriously, that was going from that was like taking the version of myself for 26 years and completely shutting it down to embodying literally embodying everything I learned over that last decade. All of those things I believe in the past were lessons, were shaping me to become who I was truly meant to be at 26, which was who I still am now. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning and growing every day. Different experiences happen all the time. Still learn things about myself.
But it's like a good 180.
Yeah, that was like, so what made me want to help other people? Well, I became a certified spiritual coach, actually, right when I left that, after I healed myself and got out of that relationship. I wasn't even doing holistic healing, really.
And so how do you become a certified, say it again?
A spiritual coach.
Yeah. How do you become a certified spiritual coach?
So I became a certified spiritual coach from another spiritual coach, really. She
Gotcha.
taught me just like certain principles that I kind of had already knew, but it was basically teaching me the business of how to do it, really, because I was already spiritual. It wasn't really about, I knew how to help people get in touch with their spiritual selves. So meaning what that looks like is everybody's spiritual. Nobody's like, I'm not more spiritual than you. You're not. We're all spiritual beings. It's just a matter of how much you're tapped into it. So basically I was working one-to-one with clients where I was teaching them how to tap into that more, which is really just you truly connecting with your true self. So I was a spiritual coach for about a year.
Okay.
And that was after my deep healing journey. When I really went on that deep healing journey at 26, it was like 25 turning 26. But when I went on that journey, I did actually have a coach. I had my own coach who helped me go through that process.
Got it.
So I did that spiritual coaching for about a year, but then I started noticing that what I was actually teaching people, my one-to-one clients, was actually holistic healing. I was teaching them not only how to heal spiritually, I was teaching them emotional, mental, physical. We were talking about it all. And that's when I was like, wow, I don't want to just focus on spirituality because it's so much more than that. It's holistic healing. I'm not just teaching them all of these, just spiritual stuff. It wasn't just grounding and, learning meditation practices, becoming connected with your spiritual self, which is really just a lot of being, inner stillness, being alone. A lot of spirituality is being with yourself. That's how you truly get to know your spiritual self, is by being with yourself alone with no distractions. And that's very hard for people. No TV, no nothing.
100%.
So that was a lot of what I brought people through.
And so you said a very interesting word earlier. You said you're just the channel. And so in you being the channel, we would reference that your body would be the TV. And so if your body's now the TV, you channeling everybody else's energy through, you're intaking all of these different energies, people that have negative connotations and people that have trauma, all of this stuff. Are you storing that in your body? How are you processing that to not be stuck?
Right. So, of course, I take care of my own self. The way that I tell my clients to do things, I do those things myself. So I do energy healing on myself. Also, I do a little practice before I leave the house, honestly. And I will put like a little energetic protection around myself. But there's certain things that you do, especially when you're doing energy healing, that is taught to you when you do energy healing, like, you wash your hands before and after. Also, I say that I'm not absorbing any of their energy in my own mind. I say it at the end of my sessions and in the beginning. So it's because everything is energy, of course. It doesn't get attached to me. But I didn't know that at one point, honestly. I was doing Reiki in the beginning, and I didn't know that I needed to do that. So I was absorbing people's energy, and I was drained. I was becoming exhausted from doing my sessions. But everything is a learning experience. And so after seeing that, I was working with my coach and I was talking about it, asking other Reiki practitioners and people who were having those kinds of experiences, and figured it out. So it's really just about protecting my own energy. But now in my life, honestly, I'm structured. I'm very structured. So all the things, like I said, I tell my clients to do, I do. I take care of myself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I work out 5 days a week. Sorry, 1 minute.
You're good.
I work out 5 days a week. I journal, I write, I meditate, I do my own energy healing, I have my own coach. So all those things play a part. I'm working on myself so I can help other people. That's so key to being, how can I support other people if I'm not even growing myself?
100%.
And I believe growth is forever. And that's something my mentor always says. Growth is forever. Growth is forever. And I truly believe that. So it's like always, I have to become better so that I can help other people. That's just what it is. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm always learning.
Got it. And so, we did a little exercise earlier when we were out there where you were like, I can like make my own energy ball. I don't know if you've seen you watch anime?
I have, yes. I have watched anime.
So
I've only watched 2.
You like Naruto?
Anime. Never seen Narco, no.
Okay, so it's like he does this little Rasengan energy ball. Yeah, and then it like makes, but then you feel like the energy, like even right now, like I can feel it a little bit. And so can you create things like that? You said you can make it as big as you want. Can you create things like that? Like if I go like this with you, could I do it?
Yeah. So you can create just like, you could definitely feel that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's strong.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's way stronger than I thought it would be at first. Okay.
And even closer, it's even more.
Oh, I feel it like right in the set. That's stronger than with myself. And so what does that mean? So
when you're attuned to Reiki energy, right? Reiki has been around for centuries. Let's just start there. It's Chinese medicine. It's been around for centuries. Just not told to a lot of people, again, because what I said in the beginning about how people just be stuck in systems. But what that is, it's universal life force energy. That's basically what Reiki is. When you're attuned to the energy, it's way stronger. So this is why people can feel it way stronger through your hands. You have to actually become attuned. There's certain symbolism. There's certain things that help certain pains, help certain emotional things that are going on, mental things that are going on, chronic pain. It's all because if you really think about it, I mean, every single thing in this universe is energy. Yeah. Everything, this energy. It's not even real. Like, you know what I mean? It's just whatever. I don't know. Made up of molecules, right? Made up of whatever, right? So that's why the energy can be so strong when you're attuned to it. Everything is energy. I'm sure, honestly, I really bet, I can't do it right now, but I bet if I was to every single day practice moving this with my hand, I guarantee I would be able to. And it's not just me. There's many Reiki practitioners in the world, of course. I'm not the only one, but because it's all energy. It's just like the same thing, like how people talk about, and I know you know this, how people talk about what you think you attract.
100%.
Right? So it's energy. So because I'm attuned, you can be attuned to the energy. I've been practicing it for 5 years now. Reiki, I've been practicing for 5 years. 6 years. Sorry, I can't do that. Yes. Since 2019, I've been practicing Reiki. So anybody can be attuned to the energy. It's not just me. You can attune yourself to the energy. Well, no, you can't attune yourself. You have to get attuned by somebody to the energy. But it takes years to actually become a Reiki master practitioner. There's certain levels. There's level 1, there's level 2, there's level 3, and there's a Reiki master. Level 1, you can only do it on yourself. You can't do it to other people. Level 2 is you can do it distant. I can do distant sessions with people over Zoom and they can feel the energy. I can do Reiki to somebody who is in a hospital, in a coma, or in a, whatever situations.
And they'll feel it.
It's different. They can feel it.
Wow.
Well, I don't know about somebody, in a coma, but I mean somebody in a hospital, you could feel it. They could feel it from a distance. I have done many distant sessions and the person is there. I've done sessions where I'm not even on Zoom with them. I just know where they are and what they're doing, and I could send it like that.
And so when you say things like that, is it possible to, and this is how my brain works. I can't control it. I think about the light side of things and the dark side of things. And so the same way you can use like voodoo for negativity, you have some people that do voodoo for positivity type stuff or whatever, or hoodoo, or psychic stuff, or even psychology. Like there's a light side to psychology and a super dark side to psychology. With Reiki, if you become like a Reiki master, now we're gonna go into like Star Wars, kind of like a Luke or a Darth Vader. Like they have the same thing. They're both channeling the Force, but one is using it for evil and one's using it for good. And so you saying you can send your Reiki energy by just thinking about somebody, is there a bad way for somebody to put that onto you, like if they want to harm you or anything like that?
No, it's not possible. The reason why it's not possible is because the person has to be open to receiving it. So, and also honestly, I would hope nobody would ever do that, because it would come back to them. It's energy. It's going to come back to you. I can't even send you Reiki from a distance unless you say that it's okay. If I tried to do that, it won't go to you. It would just go to someone else who's open. So for example, if like you're in another state and I am like, oh, I'm going to send Reiki to Rich right now, or if you don't know I'm doing it and you're not open to it, it's not going to go to you. It'll go to someone else who knows where, but it'll go to someone else who's open.
Got it.
And I can't send it just, for example, somebody who's in the hospital and let's say they're unresponsive, a family member has to say yes to it, has to agree to it. Unless they do say it's discernment. For example, God forbid it was like a family member of mine and like I'm saying it's okay to send it to them because I know they would be open, they would receive it.
Got it.
But it can't be just random to whoever you feel like, because you want to manipulate. You think people could like manipulate it by like, oh, I want this person to like me, so I'm going to send them Reiki. It won't go to them.
Got it. Okay.
They have to be, especially if they like repel your energy. Definitely not. It won't work. And again, like I said, I would never recommend anybody to even try to do that, because it's just going to go back to you. That energy that you're sending, whenever people send energy, even in thought, if it's coming from a lack mindset, or if it's coming from that kind of mindset, you're just projecting that back to yourself. So to do that, it's like almost pointless.
Yeah.
It's coming back to you unless you want that for yourself.
Okay. And so you mentioned earlier some of the chakras. And so for the people who don't know, because it's not just common information, what are the chakras and why are they important?
So your chakras are your energetic systems in your body. There's 7 main chakras, but there's actually way more than just the 7 main ones. Each chakra in your body is related to a certain gland in your body, and it affects you emotionally, it affects your energy, it affects you mentally. Some people's chakras may be out of balance. And the reason why it's not talked about and you go to the doctor and like, oh, let me check your chakras, is because it is holistic wellness. It's energy systems. They're flow of energy in your body. And what's very interesting when I have sessions with people, because I do mainly focus on the 7 chakras.
So what are the 7?
I was about to say, you have your crown chakra above the head. Then you have your third eye chakra, which is right in between your eye. You have the throat chakra. Then you have your heart. You have your sacral, you have your solar plexus, and then you have your root chakra. So each of them is related to a certain gland, and they're also related to certain emotions in the body. So you have, like, for example, obviously your throat is connected to your throat. But when I give sessions to people, and let's say I'm on their heart chakra, I can see if they have, and I can feel if they're holding on to grief or heartbreak. And when it's blocked, you can have a blocked chakra system in your body. If it's blocked, it's causing emotional distress in your body, most likely. Or if you have something going on, your adrenal glands, which is also connected to your nervous system, connected to your fight or flight, connected to if you feel safe. So a lot of people don't feel safe. Their root chakra is out of balance. And actually there's foods that there's certain colors. They're all connected to certain colors, your chakras. So there's actually certain foods that you can eat that actually enhance them. So for your root chakra, like you would eat, it's related to the color red, but you would eat foods that are rooted to help expand your root chakra. And your root chakra helps you feel more grounded, helps you feel more connected to yourself. It's also related to your sexual reproductive system as well. So people may not realize that it's off balance, and that's why they're having these problems. It's not just connected to, whatever the doctor's saying. It's also connected because your energy systems get clogged up. That's why energy healing is so important, especially people who never had energy healing done ever before in their life. One thing I'm going to say about energy that not a lot of people talk about either is that we all have an electromagnetic field that surrounds our body. We talked about this before a little bit, but we all have an electromagnetic field. Now, let's think about this in perspective of being human. And we can, you can look up pictures of your electromagnetic field. It's a real thing. But so let's say you're about to enter a room. Okay, you enter a room. Before you enter the room, you were like, feeling great. I feel great. I'm so excited. I'm feeling good in my body, feeling confident, whatever. Now you enter that room. Everybody in that room is miserable and depressed and complaining about whatever. Now you feel that. Why do you feel that now? It's because you're in their electromagnetic fields. Now you go home after you just stepped into that room with all those people. You're socializing with those people because let's just say you're at a party, but there's a group of those people. Now you go home. Their energy is now in your electromagnetic field. Now you feel overwhelmed, stressed. You just took on what they were experiencing. The feelings they were experiencing that was in their energy field. You took it on because you went home. And this is not only how people get stuck in energetic cycles, but this is also emotional cycles, what I'm about to say. People get stuck in cycles in general is because they don't break the pattern. They go to sleep at night, they feel depressed. They wake up, they feel depressed. They go to sleep, they feel depressed. It's a constant cycle. The reason you're stuck in that cycle is because you're not stopping it. You're not stopping the cycle. You're doing nothing to end that cycle. Become aware of the root cause of the cycle, to stop it, to pull yourself out. It's similar energetically. People aren't aware. When you go to work and you're in a crowd of people, you're absorbing their energy. You're absorbing it. And I want people to experiment. Try it. Feel great before you go to work. Go to work where there's people who are miserable. Now go home. How do you feel? Drained, probably. Tired, probably. You just took on their energy. If once you clear their energy off, it's like, wow, I feel like myself again. A lot of people say that.
No, 100%. Have you ever had Cava?
No.
So, do you know what Cava is?
I've heard of it. I see it all over Florida. Cava everywhere.
I had it one time, and I'm pretty sure I drank actual literal dirt. Yeah. But it's like dirt that, like, I don't even know 100% what it is. It's like, it's not alcohol, but you literally feel like a buzz. It's very earthy. Like, it's supposed to do something to your body. And yeah, I'm a very taste oriented person, smell oriented person. And so if it tastes bad, chances are I'm probably not going to do it again. So I haven't done it again, but I was just interested to see if you've ever done Cava.
No.
But it's interesting, I do want to do more research on it because you get a certain type of feeling, and even in there, the environment is holistic, and the environment is more so like be in tune with yourself and everything, like all the Cava spots, and they must do really good because there's a lot of them and they're open and in random spots. And so, no, that's good. And so, on a last topic, because I feel like we can go on forever, literally, when somebody comes to a session with you, and you evaluate them and you walk them through certain things, what are some of the extremes that you've seen and dealt with? And what are some things that you've helped people really get through to say like, wow, this is a different alternative to what I've been doing and I want to continue to do it?
Mm-hmm. So I've helped people who've had chronic pain in their knees before. I had someone who had chronic pain in their knees, and it was a consistent problem. And I helped them clear out. They actually had black energy in their knees
Wow.
that they were holding on to. Again, back to the holistic thing. It's just that it's all connected.
So when you say black energy, what do you mean?
So the energy looked black.
Got it.
Basically, is what I mean. When I saw it, it looked like it was just like a grayish black energy in their knees, and they were always feeling like there was something wrong with their knees, and no doctors really had explanations as to what was going on within their knees. But people don't realize, like, your knees, your ankles, your hips, that's what holds you up, right? So people don't realize that there's so much that people actually store trauma in their hips a lot, and in their knees too, and in their ankles. So that may sound really like woo-woo to some people, but the reality is it goes into your knees and your ankles and your hip. So I helped somebody relieve their chronic pain in their knees after multiple sessions. Of course, I'm not gonna, one session when you have chronic pain like that, it's not going to clear out right away. And of course, with that person too, we dove deep into some trauma they were holding on to as well to release their emotional. But the Reiki cleared after I would say it was about 6 sessions. I helped them completely clear out that energy in their knees, and they were able to actually bend down all the way to the ground, like squat, when they weren't able to do that before. So that was something really, really cool. And then I had a female who was having issues with her menstrual cycle for a long time, way longer than she should have been going through. And after giving her a session, seeing that she had blocked energy in her sacral chakra, and we worked on that, and I gave her all these things she needs to do, including foods she needed to eat, daily habits she needed to focus on. That was all included in the sessions, and I continued to come. I went to her to do the sessions bi-weekly. And she had her menstrual cycle flowing again after almost a year of not having it, or maybe longer. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember exactly, but it was about a year that she didn't have it, maybe longer. So that was something that was really awesome. I healed my own chronic pain, my own chronic shoulder pain. And I've actually even helped animals. That sounds crazy, but you can give Reiki to animals too. Animals too, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. No, well, I mean, we got to do a part 2.
Yeah,
and because there's a lot more things I would like to talk about. That this world is so vast of information and understanding and just transfers, and me myself, I'm definitely no expert, but I have an open mind, and I do a lot of just random stuff. So, I come across a lot of these things, and yeah, I'm interested.
Awesome.
I'm very interested. And so, this Danielle has been amazing. You're in South Florida now, welcome. And if somebody wanted to, learn more about you, get interested in what you do, hear more about you, book a session with you, where could they do all of that stuff at?
On my Instagram. I'm on all platforms. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. But really, Instagram is where I'm talking to people a lot. Okay. My Instagram is Danielle_Newman4.
Okay, cool. And so there you guys have it. Listen, this is a phenomenal episode. Like we go through a whole guided meditation, first time we've done that. And that in itself is a gem. And make sure, please, as we always say, you share this episode with somebody. You never know who might need it. Even if you have a slight incline on thinking like, hey, this is something that they might want to know or be interested in, please like, share, subscribe. And It's your host, Moneybag Rich. And at the end of the day, we always say we look good, we live good, life is good. Talk to us, we talk back. And we are out.